Hello, everybody. I just wanted to talk today a little bit about masculine and feminine energy. I get asked about this a lot. And in my practice, I prescribe testosterone often to patients, so it's not unheard of by any means. But what I talk to my patients about is really understanding not only their hormones, but also this idea of masculine and feminine energy, where it comes from, what it actually means. And often, I think in especially the online space, there is a lot of confusion about this. And in fact, I think sometimes when we listen to certain male spokespeople, they will talk a lot about this masculine energy. The thing to understand is that we all, men, women, we all have masculine and feminine energy. We are a mix of those, right? And that's relevant because when we treat people, we can't simply just look at changing their masculine energy without understanding what the counter effect is too. So with my patients, when we are talking about maybe using testosterone or using a supplement to increase levels of testosterone or DHEA or pregnenolone, these other hormones that we'll talk about later, we have to know what the effect is in terms of how it affects our masculine energy. Now, masculine energy, again, it's not something that we simply just tell ourselves to increase and suddenly we do. Really, it's a change in our paradigm, a change in our thinking. And one thing that I do find as very often is that my male patients may be stronger or may have tapped more into their feminine energy and feminine side. Again, that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with their relationship or anything wrong with the way that they approach life. It just sometimes becomes a hindrance in their world. And yes, in fact, sometimes we see that it affects their relationship. We call this a sun-moon flip, basically where our feminine energy takes over and our masculine energy takes the back seat to it. This can be really helpful and appropriate when we're raising kids, right? Because our feminine energy really is about caring and really dialing into that and understanding our connection and communication with others, especially our children, especially our family. But what happens, and what happened for me, I will say, after having kids, is that we tap so deeply into that feminine energy that we lose a little bit of our masculine energy. Okay, how does that affect us? Well, often what we see is, if we're tapping too far into our feminine energy or we're not tapping into our masculine energy, we have trouble making decisions, even simple decisions. So I have a patient this week, new patient that I spoke with, and even the simplest decisions like going out to eat, making decisions on where they should go for date night, decisions on what needs to be done around the house. Those can be very problematic when a person is tapping strongly into their feminine energy and not enough into their masculine energy. This idea of the sun-moon flip, in fact, comes from that idea too, is that sometimes our partners, especially if we have a male-female relationship, our female partners can move forward into the masculine because the space is available for that, or they've become comfortable with that, or they have learned that through roles in their family. And so when they move into the masculine, I find that sometimes male patients will step into their feminine. Again, this can be helpful in certain circumstances, certain instances, but we do not want to spend our time there. We want to be able to make decisions decisively. We want to make decisions clearly. We want to step into that role when it is the time and place. And simple things like, say, going to dinner, or again, making decisions that need to happen quickly, that's really important to have that masculine energy. There is a time and there is a space and there's an importance to being able to tap into the feminine as well. But so doing and tapping into our masculine, we move forward. We start to get into our comfort. We get into what we naturally would fall into. And really the relevance of that is something called polarity. And polarity is this tension but the strength that we keep, that keeps relationships together. So when we have strong polarity, when we have tapped into our masculine, we allow our partner to tap into their feminine. And this can happen in male-male, female-female relationships as well. We're just talking about it more associated with a male-female relationship. And when we tap into our masculine, it creates the space, it opens the space so that our partner, even if they're used to being in the masculine, can fall into their feminine. And we create this nice polarity, this nice tension, which may not sound right, but this pull between each other. So one of the things, again, to rehash, when we're looking at testosterone, we're looking at what it's going to do for the body. It's going to increase energy, increase motivation, muscle mass, but really what we're talking about is masculine energy. And testosterone is a way of doing it, but we can do other things in our life before we get there that can actually increase the masculine. And what I will say is, if we move into the masculine by changing our paradigm, changing our thought process, changing how we make decisions, moving in the direction of it, we can actually shift things within our own endocrine system, our own neurotransmitter system. And as you know from other videos I've put together, that the hormones of the brain are our neurotransmitters, and the neurotransmitters of our body are our hormones, right? These are very similar mechanisms. Anyhow, I hope that's helped. We'll talk a lot more about masculine, feminine energy. Really, really important to understand this. Really important in terms of our own growth, our own healing, and the healing within our relationship that needs to happen. Okay? Thanks.